Hey guys, I'm learningtft. In this video, I'm going to go through a detailed analysis of how to approach the early game, the opener that Rainplosion hosted on the TFT Plus program, where she did a really deep dive into her process on how she goes about doing the opener. So I'm going to dive into that video in a sec, but before I do that, I'll first give you a little bit of a teaser. Just a little bit of background about Rainplosion. She's been to Worlds once, I believe, and she's also consistently at the top of the ladder. Right now, she's ranked 14. But one thing that really stands out about her approach is if you look at her games played, 249. There's another player I haven't heard of before, Heartache, at 216 games played, but she's consistently like at half or a third of the number of games played of like Setsuko or like Darth Nub here. So her efficiency in terms of how she approaches the game, how she prepares for the game, is really just impressive. And it's something that I want to learn from more. And one of the things that she mentioned is really VOD reviewing more, watching more games, and specifically in this video that I recorded previously, she talks about how she approaches the early game. So these are some of my takeaways from my notes, and you can watch the video to get a little bit more detail, but just to give you a teaser, be aware of unit strength. There are situations where it's not worth making a 2-star 2-cost. And that's something that she'll dive into. Always buy pairs by default. This is kind of a basic one. Hold units based on what items you're dropped in stage 1. So this one's a little bit more complex, but the basic idea is if you're dropped tier rod components, for example, then you probably don't want to hold on to your AD units, even if you have a pair or even a 2-star of them. Like let's say you have a Maddie 2 or a Draven 2, but you have tier rod and like no bow, especially for Draven, then that Draven's not really useful to you because he's very reliant on attack speed. So we'll see that there is a scenario where I forget if she was VOD reviewing one of her games or if it was dishsoap, where they sold a 2-star 1-cost in stage 1 to buy items that are tailored towards their item components. At 2-1, if your direction is unclear, she suggests picking an augment that will help give you direction. This makes your gameplay a lot easier and less dizzying. And then when VOD reviewing, pause and predict what the streamer is going to do. And this is part of what I've talked about around deliberate practice. The more you try to predict what's going to happen, and then you see what the result of what the streamer did, assuming that, let's assume for the most part, that the streamer or top player is going to generally, like 95+% of the time, make a more optimal decision than you probably would, then that is a way that you can track the difference between what you would do and what they did, which is the perfect way that you can actually learn. So that's just a bit of a teaser. I'm going to go into the meta mindset, time management, and focus is the topic today. If you want to jump straight into the Rainplosion's opener discussion, check out the link in the timestamp in the description below. So today I want to talk about time management, especially because my guess is for a lot of people who want to be able to climb more, you're short on time, you have a lot of stuff going on in your life, and a lot of times it's also hard for me to focus on the game. Like I'm like multitasking a bunch of stuff, and even when I jump into the game, it can take a little bit of time for me to lock in. So that's kind of a topic I want to talk about. So first off, with time management, Seneca, I believe he's one of the Greek philosophers, said, "People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy." Jean de la Bruyere, I don't know how to pronounce that, said, "Those who make the worst use of their time are the first to complain of its brevity." And Peter Drucker said, "There's nothing so useless as doing efficiently that which should not be done at all." So these are just some ideas related to time management that a lot of times we are doing things, we are wasteful of our time. And when we are wasteful, we tend to complain of its brevity, that we don't have enough time. And Drucker was saying, there's no point in doing the things that shouldn't even be done at all, and then we complain about it and we're wasteful about it. So part of this analysis is to think about, and this is true in TFT too, but in your personal life, what are the things that you do that you're wasting your time that you could cut out of your time? And one of the things that I suggest in my executive coaching practice for startup founders is to do a time log where you can, for maybe like a week, keep track of all the things that you're doing in a day, which is almost the equivalent of like in TFT. If you put together, and you can kind of see this on your match history on like lolchess or tactics.tools, where you can, and I've started to do this a little bit, you put, like, I did this for my tournament yesterday actually, or over the weekend. Where is that? I don't know. Oh, here. So you can see like what percentage of the games you're playing. And so if you could apply this time concept to like comp and distribution of comps you're playing, like, oh, this kind of implies I should probably not be playing Renata. Likewise, there are probably things in your life that if you actually added up the time that you're, scrolling TikTok or doing something mindless just to relieve stress, like you might actually be really surprised at how high that percentage is. And what these philosophers and authors are saying is that, when you really pay attention to how you're using your time, you're likely not spending all of it in an effective and useful manner. On the topic of focus, I don't even know how to spell this or pronounce this philosopher's name, so I'm not going to try. A wise man coordinates his interests and develops them according to their merits. Cupidity defeats its own ends by following so many at once that in our greed for trifles, we lose sight of important matters. So similar to the time management topic, if we are trying to do too many things at once, we aren't able to do any single thing well. Furthermore, we aren't able to focus on what is truly important. And when you think about this for TFT, if sometimes I get into the mode where I'm flexing so much that I don't really get good at any single comp. And that can cause, especially if the meta is more narrow, can cause you to really lose out on some opportunity. Steve Jobs said, "People think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that there are." So again, related to Drucker's idea, the harder thing is saying no to the things that are useless, or even the other good ideas but not great ideas. And so part of it isn't just saying like, oh yeah, I definitely should focus on this one thing. Part of it is excluding all the other noise out there and just push it out. And so that's like, actually that is applicable for my mid game. In the past, I've thought about flexing between too many lines. I hold too many units on my roll downs on 4-2. And one of the things that Asa and Marcel are teaching me on my roll down on 4-2 is to really narrow my focus on the single line and the units that are useful for that line instead of trying to also flex other lines. Both because that decreases my APM, causes me to like have to process too much information, and because I'm holding so much gold on my bench, it decreases the amount of gold I have to roll to really efficiently hit my units. But this is definitely true for life too. If you have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of the difficulty of focus is actually saying no to stuff rather than thinking like, oh, I just can't focus on this one thing. Because your brain kind of keeps on trying to context switch when you have a large list of things that you feel like you need to do. So it has a hard time focusing because it keeps thinking of the other things. This is true from like a computer science algorithm standpoint too. Pruning the search tree is just as important to knowing which tree to go down or which branch to go down. Warren Buffett said the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. So similar idea to Steve Jobs. And then Greg McKeown, in his book Essentialism, this book I really enjoy, it's about minimalism, said, only once you give yourself permission to stop trying to do it all, to stop saying yes to everyone, can you make your highest contribution towards the things that really matter. And he's saying something similar to some of these other ideas, but the one distinction that really stands out to me about this quote is that part of the difficulty of saying no is that you have to stop saying yes to the people around you, which oftentimes means that you might piss some people off, you might annoy some people, people might stop wanting to be your friends because you're not saying yes to everything that they ask you for. So a big part of learning to do this is setting boundaries to preserve your own energy, to follow what you are interested in, what you are passionate in, not just saying yes to every request that comes your way and being a yes person. So that's because one thing that is very, very common is the more successful that you get in life, the more people that will try to attach to you to get your attention, to try to ask for your money, to try to partner with you. And so there's this conflict, or what is it? It just becomes more and more challenging as you get more and more successful. It becomes harder and harder to focus because there's so many more opportunities that come along. And so as you do become more successful in life, it's more and more important to learn how to actually say no, which isn't just an intellectual exercise, it's an emotional, interpersonal exercise, because you have to learn how to set boundaries and learn how to effectively communicate with other people to say like, hey, thank you for this opportunity, I appreciate it, but right now that's not at the top of my priority list. I'll let you know if that changes, right? But having the confidence, the kind of self-worth to be able to set that firm boundary and say no. And this can be just as true with family, friends, your parents, a partner. So setting that firm boundary is so essential. Okay, so that covers the meta mindset. I'm going to lead into the Rainplosion opener discussion. If you have any thoughts on all of these ideas that I've been talking about, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you enjoy this video. Hey Rain, how much time do you spend like playing versus studying and researching like out of the game?
Oh, I think if you want to be good, you should spend like 40% of your time playing. I'm kind of like I just don't have that much time in general, so like I probably like spend like 60% of my time playing and like 40% of my time watching or like researching is kind of a misnomer, but I tend to do like stats analysis while like just like watching a stream or something. Cause like I'll be watching someone play Experiment Twitch or something. I'll just be like, oh, like like they slammed the like I don't know, Rage Blade Runeons. What's the best third item?
How did you get
And
to that
especially
word?
because like streams. Hmm?
Oh,
How did I
like
get to
how'd you get to that optimal
oh
distribution? Like,
I think it's better to play a little bit more, sorry, watch a little bit more than you play, but I don't think it's by like a large margin. I mean, the number is kind of arbitrary, but I definitely think you should like spend like somewhere around half your time like playing and half the time watching. If you're like just trying to improve. I mean, obviously it's a game as well, so like if you just want to play games, that's totally fine. But I mean, I think I'm proof of it. Like, you can be really high LP without playing like a ton of games. Like, everyone else up here is like Smurfs. Like, this is Kaiwing Smurf. So like everyone else up here has like somewhere between like 500 to 600 games. But you can do still really well, even if you don't like spam infinite games.
Hmm. And when you
Right,
say
great.
study is that percentage, like what percentage of that is looking at stats versus like stream versus something else?
I mean this seriously. Like, I'll just be looking through a stream. That's what I meant. Like, so like, say I'm just watching a stream. I oftentimes like get curious about something. Okay, I mean this is a bad example, but oh yeah. So like, say I'm watching this stream. Um, I don't know what he's playing. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Let's let's let me find a comp where like I know. Oh, right. I know what someone's playing. That is what the fuck. So okay, this guy does not have normal games. All his games are kind of awkward. Oh yeah. So this is more normal. So like maybe I'll just be watching a stream and like I'll be like, oh yeah, he built some alloy items. Like I wonder what the best alloy items are. And then so I'll like look up stuff as I'm watching streams. I don't really tend to I don't really tend to like super just like raw study stats because I think that's like both boring and if you're bored it's like kind of hard to summon up motivation for the game. And also, I mean, you can see stuff like Redemption is really good, which makes a lot of sense in Sentinels. Redemption is like one of the best things you can get because it's a percentage HP heal, and you already kind of have the resistance to, so resistance items are a bit lower. But yeah, I mean, you'll kind of notice that like a lot of the top players tend to have like the best items. So like I just like panted the ship stream for fun, but you'll notice he literally has like the 3 top items aside from Light Shield on his units because in general, the shop also knows that stuff like this, and he would build like better items. But this is how like I do my quote unquote research. All right, but going back into the opener review, I'm gonna talk about openers. Like really, just talk about some like 1, 3, 2, 2, 5. And I say talk, but like really, I'm gonna watch. I think to do that though, we kind of have to have some common ground on what the strongest comps are and like maybe the strongest units are. So if you disagree with me, feel free to tell me like why you think so. But in the absence of everything else, I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna start like making a mini comp list. Not like anything exhaustive or anything, but yeah. I think that currently on the current patch, Scrap is S tier. Sorcerers are like A or S tier. I'll just put them S tier as well. Rebels suck. Sorry. What are the other comps? Like you can play some TF reroll. It's fine. Or got reroll is fine. Not a little bit earth, but it's still like decent. Zeri reroll is like playable. Twitch is like playable. Black Rose is like playable. Enforcers are like playable. Academy is like playable. I don't like it that much. Other people would put it up here. But like these are like the basic comps like we can talk about, right? So the point I'm coming at is that the comps you're playing towards greatly affect what openers you're willing to play. For me, for example, I like scrap, so making scrap items, that means like not making true tank items. If I slam AD, I don't like having to build true tank items. I don't like having to I'm totally okay with taking extra items. I'm totally okay with just like having openers that are mixed AD/AP and building a shred and sunder. It means I'm less likely to like tunnel to Twitch, for example. So like rage blade slams are a little bit worse on 2-1 for me. Um But like this kind of depends on what you think the meta is. This is what I think the meta is. There's some changes, like maybe maybe this is more accurate. Okay, this might be more accurate, but basically every single game I'm going into, I want to play one of scrap or sometimes sorcerers. I think most other people have like similar reads on the meta. Like if we look at dishsoap's tier list, for example, yeah, he thinks scrap is good. Sorcerers are good. His tier list is obviously a bit more varied, but you get the same idea. Like scraps are good, sorcerers are good, some ambushers are good, stuff like that. That kind of affects our opener choice because not all these units are created equal. In terms of power level, like just how strong they are, I think it's something like this. I think it's something like this in terms of how like strong openers are. Um, if you basically just bought like units off of this tier list and bought them and sold them like once you find a higher tier unit or you have more pairs or something, it's like totally fine. But usually it's worth keeping pairs. I think like the garbage tiers aren't even worth
Do you
keeping
have
pairs for.
T-Mobile?
Huh?
What kind of account you have? The regular account or prepaid
Hey
or
hero, you're not
huh?
muted. Hey hero.
So, but you need to bring your ID and your
Okay,
social.
I'm gonna mute them. Sorry. Okay. Uh, but like obviously different players have different ways they want to play the game. I know some people actually think that Sentinels are good. That's probably because they think that Academy is good or whatever. So they'll have like this as their tier list or something. Maybe they don't like Darius, they don't like Conqueror, so they'll have that lower. This is my tier list. Generally, like if you watch me, this is like how you'll see me organize my openers. So on that note, I think I'll start by looking through my own openers. Oops. I'll look through like 4 to 5 of my games, and then I'll go through like some of Bishop's games. I might go like 4 as well, then watch like YPY, and then I'm happy to look through anyone who wants to submit their own games. Oh yeah, if you'd like want like your openers looked at, ideally have them like uploaded somewhere, like to Google Drive or to like some sort of a streaming platform. I think Outplayed has uploads, so we can just like talk about. So I can refer to your openers if we need to. But yeah, this is like fairly standard. I want to play around Trundle because I think he's one of the stronger units. Just the idea of having +1 scrap is really good. I obviously have this opener, but from this spot, okay, so pause here. A call is not actually that bad of a unit, but I don't personally want to hold them. I have like somewhat of an Urgot package. I haven't seen the rest of my orbs, so I could still get it up to 3 cost. And I still could get like an Urgot augment onto one, like Unleash the Beast. So I want to have the option of playing towards Urgot, especially in component opener. So that means I really want to pick a powder. Like powder isn't very strong on this board currently, but if I hit 2-star Trundle, it lets me play through with that. The obvious pickup here is Steb for Enforcer. Because it's Bruiser. I mean, I think I made it pretty clear I want to play through this opener. The other like line I'm holding is Urgot, but Urgot isn't very strong unless you activate his traits. He's a 3-trait unit, and like he is very strong when those traits are activated, but without that, he's actually pretty mediocre. So now I have like 2 different sort of lines I can play. I can play through. I kind of just want to buy frontline backline pairs, so that's like buying these bruisers, plus powder, plus like this is possibly my backline. But if say I hit the 2-star Sorks, then I kind of want frontline like no matter what it is. If I don't hit the bruisers, I think Sentinels are an okay backup. So even though like technically, if you're playing sorcerers, Watchers are better frontline because you can link them into into Vladimir / Darius links into Swain pretty well. You should generally try to just make sure you have like frontline pairs and backline pairs, because unless you're playing like a melee carry, you kind of need both to win on stage 2. This part isn't super important. I picked something that like I mean, frankly, I just wanted econ because I didn't see my opener yet. This doesn't really commit you, but okay, so some choices to make. I actually immediately start selling my ergots because I think two things. So one, I have a chance of playing a strong opener. I have like a lot of pairs, right? Like this whole board is paired. I have Zyra pair, I have this pair. I don't want to pop my anvils, so ergot is probably like the weak link on my board. And these are like kind of the strong units I identified, right? I think. Yeah, these are like literally all the strong units I identified. Step, Trundle, Zyra, Powder, Lux. Like these are all the pairs I'm holding on to. And I'm willing to sell ergot. I'm willing to sell more options because I think if I hit these pairs, I can win streak, which is why I don't commit items because like say I hit the sorcerers, I kind of want to play AP then. Say I hit the Trundle / Powder, then I probably want to commit more towards scrap. So I would build items more like say Vow, Last Whisper, Hodge. You can kind of put like all those items onto Trundle. But yeah, this is one where I commit. I win. So okay, so the reasons I commit here are oh fuck. Reasons I commit here are I won 2-1. I scouted around a little bit. Like these boards look beatable. If you kind of look at these boards, these boards mostly look beatable. And I think there's a high chance I can win in the future. So because of that, after winning just one round, I decided to start committing to playing sorcerers, because it's also not very contested, and I play the rest of my opener out. Just to show how it goes, like I don't actually win the next round, unlucky. But I think it's quite reasonable to think that after winning 2-1, I could have won 2-2, because I fought like this person or this person. Or like any of the other people I scouted, I could have won. Committing here definitely lowers my options. Like if I held on to everything here, I could have maybe still played scrap, but with these slams, it's like really, really hard to play scrap. So, so this definitely limits your options, but this lets you play for tempo, and like I think 5 people who I fight here, I could have streaked against, and then next turn I have a really high chance of just like hitting something to upward my board because I'm sitting on 3 pairs. But I mean, yeah, I'm actually hit the pairs very soon. But even still, my board is pretty strong. Even on full 1 stars, I actually win most fights, and then eventually, because I'm holding so many pairs, like I have to hit them eventually. On 2-6, I hit my pairs, and then like you can probably see where the spot is going. I just play sorcerers. I have tempo, and then that translates into I think a first. Next game, openers. You're gonna see a lot of similar patterns when certain players think that stuff is broken. So, like I mentioned, I think that Step Trundle is kind of broken. Scrap Trait is really broken in early game. And the powder buff makes it so that like playing powder on your board is actually pretty good. So you'll see me hold like a lot of these pairs. Notably, I only play the units on my board that I'm willing to keep. If I get 4 gold here, I will probably sell the rest of my bench for econ. Not to say that Smeech isn't good, but like when you have Belt, he's like less good because the Smeech comp is like you don't really want belts. You kind of want like Titans, BT, Hodge on Smeech, and then like Echo wants like Spark, Hodge, whatever. You can use like at most 1 belt for like Guardbreaker, but the item or Sunfire, but like the item itself is pretty bad. So here, like my item choices kind of influence me. I really like econ, and if I get dropped like 1, 2, 5, if I get dropped 2 gold here, I'm willing to sell the rest of my bench to make econ. I also don't buy my Draven. Like, even though it's a pair, I really want to see what my items are, because like if I get like raw tier here, like I won't even pick up the Dravens. I'll just like sell these two and pick up like Vex Zyra. But I hit the glove, so instead of selling the Draven, I instead sell the Lux. And buy Draven pair. I even keep a Mumu. Like I've mentioned that like a Mumu is like my least hated, least liked unit. It's like way on the bottom of the tier list. But I need to play towards my opener, and it's really, really hard to play AP from this spot. You can stand like Guardbreaker, but Guardbreaker is kind of mediocre on 2-1. So given the fact that I don't have upgrades on my sorcerers yet, I'm willing to buy low tier units, especially because this pairs with Darius. So potentially I hit Draven 2, I stun Blast Whisper, and I can like win streak early game. The lesson here, I guess, is just that I think at least it's very important to look at your items first before you buy your units. It's why I think like not playing the units you're sure you want to keep, because these units are just always going to be good. Even if I hit Draven 2, like as long as I don't also hit Darius 2, I'm probably going to be playing this as my front line. And then once I see my components, that's when I make the decision on what to sell, and I sell my AP units. You can still like buy the AP units if they were upgraded, but they're not even paired. So in this case, I choose to hold units that I think are like technically weaker, but lead to a more smooth gameplay, and let me slam items that actually will help me win streak. Yeah, same pattern. I take 1s, 2s, and 3s again. I think having direction is like really good. Also, if you don't, it's just more gold than placebo is. And econ on 2-1 is pretty good. This doesn't really offer me much direction, but I play this. It is what it is. I don't think my board is that weak because I have a Trundle too. Like Trundle is kind of a beast. I think I have like no traits activated. They've got a free extra item. I still win this, like, I think. Yeah, I still win this, and I let myself play for a potential win streak. Just like look at the pairs I'm holding on bench. Eventually though, like you have to give up at some point. Like you can't hold pairs forever. Or at least I don't want to. And also I can Baron, so I acknowledge that my streak is not the strongest, and I just play Baron, potentially playing Smeech. And I think later in the game I do play Smeech. But that's to kind of just explain how I think about the opener. Alright, I'll do 2 more games from me, and then I'll move on to dishsoap. So 2 drops. Going back to my comps tier list that I made. Wait, never mind. I think I killed it. Okay, never mind. I killed off my comps tier list. But this time 3 cost, I think you really should play around. I think Conquer usually merits playing around if you can win, because plus 2 gold somewhere across stage 2 if you win like even half your fights is a pretty big spike in tempo, even on regions like Scuttle Puddle. One thing to think about also is that one thing to think about is, in case anyone is unclear about how gold drops work, on the stage 1 creep round, you are always guaranteed at least 6 gold. This doesn't always have to come in the form of champions. The 6 gold can be in the form of like a 2 gold orb, a 2 gold orb, and a 2 gold orb. So you could get like 3 2 costs. You can also get 2 3 costs. You can also get a 3 cost and 3 gold. You can also get, I think, just like 6 gold plus a reforger or remover. Or you can get like 3 gold plus small Nico, or 3 gold plus large Nico, or 4 gold plus small Nico. I don't know if there's a chart for this somewhere. But the important thing is to know is that like you're only actually guaranteed 6 gold. Usually you get 3 components or more. You can get less components if you get more gold. So like I think you can get 9 gold from neutrals if you only get dropped 2 components. Sometimes there's just more components being dropped. It like kind of varies. But the important part is to play around the fact that you always get guaranteed 6 gold. So if these were bad 3 costs, I would actually just if these were bad 3 costs, I would probably just like not even play them. But in this case, I know that these scuttle puddles are dropping 3 gold, and I don't think I can expect more gold. So I kind of want to make 10 because the things I'm holding aren't very synergistic. I want to hold the Swain, and I think the best unit to pair with Swain is Darius. I don't think these other units like super matter. Like I really could matter if I hit like a Loris, for example, but my chances of hitting Loris are really low. I don't think it's really good to play around like the 3 cost links. Like I like playing around Darius because I already have the Swain, but I don't like playing around Loris because there's a good chance I won't see Loris this game unless I roll. So these really don't mean anything to me. I'd rather just play around the Swain and the Darius because this sells for 7, which means that 7 plus 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 gold for the scuttles mean that I actually guarantee make 10 if I hold the TF on bench. I think I played Darius plus Swain because of that reason. Otherwise, like oftentimes you would play the lower cost units to try to make 10. But I already know I can make 10. So therefore I play exactly the units I know I want to keep. I have a tier. So even though I see Nocturne pair, I'm not super interested. I think I'll probably end up buying them because like you have some extra gold left over here. Yeah. But yeah, that's mainly the opener. A little bit about augment selection. I don't think I have like a clear line. If you look at my items, I got dropped here, but then I dropped glove, plus chain, which means I don't really know what I'm playing. You can play like a melee comp with Hodge. You can play like Steadfast. I think Vow is a bad 2-1 slam, but you can do it if it gets you tempo. But because of that reason, because I'm fairly uncommitted, I actually like taking tower defense here. If you have like a strong line, if you know exactly what you're gonna play, like if you have a Rageblade, Maddie 2, and you just want to play Twitch, then you just go play Twitch. But but otherwise, like I think taking augments that help you decide your direction is fairly decent. I get scrap, so I mean, yeah, the game is kind of decided from here. I don't sell my components because I don't want to. But eventually, I lost streak. Try to take GP off carousel. I mean, GP off carousel is always pretty good. I hit GP off carousel. And that's mostly the game. Alright, one more game, and then I'm moving on to dishsoap. Which I think this one's a bad one. Oh wait, so first rule of thumb is like always by pairs. Here's where I start going off the script. I have Trundle, who I think is one of the strongest units in the game because the scrap trade is pretty broken. But 2 stars are like almost always better than 1 stars, so in this case, I really want to buy Aurelia. I really want to buy Singed. So I make the decision to sell. Powder doesn't really tend to go on this board, whereas like Draven maybe can. I'm playing frontline backline, and Powder tends to be pretty mediocre unless you have Scrap or Ambusher. So I play the unit that I can actually maybe link. Like for example, I buy Draven even with tier plus chain here because maybe I get like a Rel, and then I'm willing to slam like Redemption or Vow or something. In general, because Draven has traits that link him to the frontline I have already, I think it's better to buy Draven than to buy the Powder. I actually get punished immediately. Turns out I should have kept the Trundle. But you can't play for like what might happen, you kind of have to play for like what's likely to happen. And it's not super likely that you sell the Trundle Powder and you get the Trundle Powder double whatever shop. Here again. I don't remember what I did. I think I would sell Vladimir and buy Powder Trundle. Now that I have so much of the opener, like even though I already have like kind of an opener ready to go, I don't super value the Vladimir anyways because it's not like I'm playing sorcerers. It's not like I'm playing watchers. I'd rather buy this because I think this is a stronger opener if I hit, like the Enforcer plus Powder opener. Oh, I sold Draven as well. Okay. I don't know if selling Draven is right. Okay, selling Draven is probably wrong, but the other stuff is right. My argument choice is also informed by it. I took Gold for Dummies because I had a ton of frontline units, not really a lot of backline. I think Gold for Dummies is pretty fine if you just play like 4 frontline units and expect that and just like accept that you won't win fights. But yeah, I played like 4 frontline units and then as you kind of see, when they don't have like a ton of damage, like they have a JG Zyra, but when they don't have like a ton of damage, you can farm a lot of gold per round. This is even better if I don't have damage as well and like I have like a redemption or something, but I mean like, yeah. 3 gold per round is pretty good. Like the next one I farm like 2. Oh, actually farm 3. Okay, whatever. The point is, I took an augment that was like tailored to my board. You definitely shouldn't always take gold for dummies, but I didn't really have a slam I wanted to make, and my board was pretty darn tanky. Okay, now moving on to someone else because you've looked over what I do more than enough.
So I'm not really that.
I'll keep his voice on because he talks about this stuff. He talks about his own openers fairly often, and I think it's pretty helpful to listen to what people are saying. This is kind of an exercise. I'm going to be trying to predict what dishsoap does. Feel free to follow along, or like, feel free to just unmute and speak, actually. I'm going to be trying to predict what dishsoap does, because I think this is one of like the best ways to improve, just like trying to identify differences between like your decisions and like someone higher elo than you. And I think this is like where you identify like knowledge gaps that you have, or sometimes where they have. Okay, so so he has Lux on board, Lux pair. Like I would personally always buy step pair. Because I'm buying step pair, I already have a bruiser. I probably want to keep the Camille. Because I want to keep the Camille and I want to buy Lux pair, I probably like sell Zeri and buy the Lux. But I'd probably just play step pair on board. Because if you get like Rage Blade here, then Zeri is an okay keep. He gets tier, so I expect him to sell the Zeri. Wow. Okay. Yeah, one example where I'm wrong. Right. Alright, this board. Any predictions? Any predictions for what he buys, what he sells?
He's probably gonna buy Vex pair, and maybe he'll Trundle since he's holding bruises already.
Mm-hmm. You think he sells his area or no?
Maybe based on item drop. Like if he gets a bow, like he might tend to hold. But
Okay.
I don't know. He'll probably sell because Zeri doesn't really play with bruisers, right?
Yeah. I mean, he keeps the units he wants to hold for sure. He wants to hold Vex pair for sure, so he buys the Vex. Yeah, this is a decent example of like where me and Bishops like do not always think the same. High elo players don't always think the same. If we did, like, there'd be no fun in CFT. But obviously, people have different opinions. Pretty sure he would take Experiment Crown if he had Zyra, but he doesn't. So, I mean, not gonna spoil it for you. Tactician's Kitchen. Scrap. Scrap. Yeah, he just makes econ because his board sucks. And also, you kind of have to make econ. Alright, that's the first game. Not not every game will have something like necessarily useful to look over, but I think it's useful to always think about why people make decisions. In his case, it would be that like because he bought the Vex pair, it means he values the Vex pair like relatively highly, at least more than I do. Or sorry, not even the Vex pair. He bought Vex 1 relatively highly more than I do.
I think he said he likes the
It's
visionary line. I'm not sure though. I think he said that at the
okay.
start of the patch.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil, like, okay, like, this is, like, if you hit the Trundle and GP, like, you really, really want to play Scrap. There's not really a decision here. The only one decision is you can get another gold drop. So you can choose to play, like, Trundle plus Violets to possibly make Econ. But I think that's stupid because I would never sell a GP. Yeah, I mean, so he just keeps the GP on the board. Lost decisions when there's like actual decisions to be made, but he doesn't buy the shop because I think it's fine to make 50 here. Like Pit Fighter is not actually that strong of a trait. Or make 10 here, but he doesn't get gold, so yeah. Alright, what are we buying? What are we selling? To be clear, I don't actually know the answer here. I think there's like actually a fair amount of choice. This is like a harder turn.
I feel like I would buy the 6 pair, but yeah, I think it's actually kind of tricky because I did a bot review. They said they told me not to hold like so many 2 costs in my opener.
Mm-hmm. So I have some opinions. I know Ziggs is scrap with all this board, but I personally think that Ziggs is pretty weak unless you have like the right items for him. Like if you have the mana items, I don't think I would buy Ziggs pairs just because of this, like these components. People don't really like snapping adaptive. I don't like it that much either. I kind of want to like have some potential for the Conquer line, I guess.
Oh,
Sorry, what were
I
you
was
saying?
gonna ask, does it change since he has like GP Trundle and if he buys Ziggs, all he has to do is hit like powder for 4 scrap? And then he
Oh,
has,
I
like,
mean, I would buy one Ziggs, but
one
like
Ziggs, yeah.
the board isn't actually stable, so like I would buy one Ziggs. I'd probably sell this. Maybe sell this.
Gotcha.
Maybe I would just buy like Rel plus Ziggs, sell these two. But I think it's a fair amount of options. You could buy Maddie and Lux as well. Like Maddie especially could potentially be good on this board because you hit a stub. Maddie's like probably better than Pit Fighter because Pit Fighter's like Pit Fighter 2's main bonus is just getting Omnivamp. But like you don't really need Omnivamp with this board. Gets Rageblade, buys Maddie. Doesn't even buy Ziggs. So the differences here are is that he keeps these two over a Ziggs. I would probably personally buy Ziggs, but like I think it's reasonable. His board kind of sucks, so I expect him to take Patient Study. You can also take Replication because you really, 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 really love Scrap. But yeah, okay. I mean, he says he's playing Scrap because he's playing Scrap. Guess what? Scrap is kind of good. And he takes the Loose Streak Augment, just decides to tempo. Oh, I'll note one thing for Ziggs. I think 4 Scrap is actually pretty weak. Because in the early game when you're playing 4 Scrap, you don't generally get the right components on the right units. Like he has to, because you want to summon an item here anyways, so he has to like cloak the thing. This, even if you had 4 Scrap, you get like +1 item on a powder 1. It's like not very strong. Family's better, Bruiser's better. Even Pit Fighter is sometimes better. But yeah, this is a Lost Streak opener. He just takes his Lost Streak, takes like Sword off Carousel. Calls it a day. It is what it is. Probably top 4s from here because Scrap is really broken. I'd be surprised if he bought 4s. Like, just hitting a GP1 is really strong. Yeah. I think he bought 4 actually. Oh, wow. Shows me, I guess. Okay, so Akali Vander plus Akali Vander plus Powder on board. This is his shop. I definitely think you want to sell some stuff. I have my answer. I'm curious what other people think.
I'd sell Vander and just buy everything in shop, but other people might value family.
Mm-hmm. I think I want to buy most things in shop. Fire said buy a relic pair and locks. Okay, so I'll tell you what I would do, and we'll see what dishsoap does. I would buy a Irelia pair, and I would sell one of the Akali pairs and buy Trundle Violet. My reason for this is because I think if you hit Akali pair, Akali 2, and you don't have like other upgrades, you don't even win streak. I think Akali is not like the strongest unit of all time. There's like better units for that. And Akali 2 can, to me at least, is oftentimes just the gold sink where you're like down 4 gold because she doesn't guarantee your win streak and she ruins some intervals. With that in mind, I actually kind of like the family opener with Scrap because it lets you play a reasonable opener. I think Powder is actually quite strong this patch. I would sell one Akali. I would buy everything but Lux. I'd buy Violet plus Trundles for a possible like Scrap family opener. I would buy Irelia pair for a possible Rebel opener. And yeah, I just don't value the Akali 2 that much without other upgrades. If you have other upgrades, it's really good. But Akali 2 baseline, I think, is pretty weak. We'll see though. He might keep the Akali if he gets like Hodge. Okay, he turbo hates Akali. He hates Akali way more than I do. But yeah, I mean, like I think this is a good example of where like understanding unit strength is really important. Obviously the degree to which we hate Akali is different, but like I think we both understand that Akali is just kind of a garbage unit. This is actually not a bad component for Akali because this makes Hodge. This makes you can make like Shiva Akali. You can make like Vow Akali. Those are like okay early slams because like tank items are okay. Hodge is really good on her for healing, but yeah, no Akali. This one's more easy. Like basically the choice is like you like Lux or Renata. I think I like Renata more than Lux, but I didn't see him check the academy, so maybe you like Lux more. Experiment crown again. Generally you don't want to take a win streak augment here because you have no upgrades. That said, you do have 3 pairs. I think quantity over quality is okay here if you just want to like lost streak or slam adaptive. These make really good quantity over quality items eventually, but like when you're playing quantity over quality, you really want to make stuff like Sunfire, Redemption, Spark, Shiv, Edge of Night sometimes. Oh, birthday present. What the fuck? What? Okay, so this show cheats a little and like wins the game, but by like just hitting it over, I guess. Sorry, nothing to learn. What? Yeah, okay, whatever. But he doesn't try to take quantity over quality because then suit his board. He hit every single unit he hits from birthday present exactly suits his board. Every single one is good. So good for him, I guess. I mean, sometimes you high roll. I think he hit a speech from his quantity over quality after slamming speech items. Okay, whatever. Sometimes people cheat. But I mean, Okay, so I think the most important lesson to take away there is like you really need to be aware of unit strength. Sometimes, like I can't give you a counterexample because dishsoap isn't gonna do it, but there's some units that are fucking worthless when they're 2-starred. Apologies for the swear, but some of these units are so bad. Let's take a look at the 2 costs. Like Renata does a reasonable amount because this is only for 2-star units, by the way. Renata does a reasonable amount because she shields herself. She's like pretty tanky. She can kind of like 1v2, 1v3 fights even when she's the last alive. Stuff like Camille's also really good. She has her inbuilt Omni Vamp. Nocturne is like okay. It's pretty tanky. Vladimir has self-sustain. But like there's also like a tier of units that just don't really do anything on 2-star because they don't really get stronger from 1 to 2-star. Urgot is only good in experiments. Like, if you don't have the experiment bonus, he basically doesn't have this cool part of his kit where he says gain 8% max health, 20% attack speed, and Zyra's like 50% damage bonus. He loses so much from not having 3 experiment that his base form is really weak. So like making Urgot 2, unless you already have like a lot of other upgrades, unless your board is already strong and he just needs a little bit more of a meatball, oftentimes is like an econ trap that like lends you to like lose the game. I think there's some other units kind of like that. Zeri, when you don't have Rage Blade, doesn't do anything. Like that's just a fact. Her kit is literally just do more damage when I auto. So if she can't auto, she is kind of miserable. Actually, said Vlad's not really tanky in advantage, so much better 2-star. I don't know. I haven't made that many advantage 2s. I could be wrong in my reads. But I think self-sustain is really good on. Like, I think Vander is way better on late stage 3 and stage 4. Well, stage 2 and most of stage 3, I think Vladimir's self-sustain is like really good. You could agree with me or disagree with me, but I mean, the concept the point I'm trying to make is that there's some units I would not make 2-star unless I have the rest of the board around them. Something like this, probably. Like these units, if you 2-star them without like their items or without their traits, without your board being strong, they can just like sometimes lose you econ and you can't win anyways.
Like if you're playing on AP, you can actually buy a bunch of trash. Like you can buy so much trash. When you buy AD, it's like you can't buy any trash.
2 Urgots.
Like I got completely bailed out by Jace there. If I don't get like Jace off my random, like what am I doing?
I'm pretty sure you just keep the Urgots because you want to play Urgot. Alright, he gets a spark. What are we buying? Personally, I'd probably just buy Vex and sit. I don't think Powder fits on this board. No Trundle, no Stab. You kind of want to buy Singe, but then you have to give up on Zyra, and like, I think he's still considering Urgot even with the Rod. Like, you just make BT and just like play Urgot. Wow. Those are some disjointed units. Oh, he buys Draven for Pitfighter, I guess. This all sucks. I'd probably buy the Renata units. I guess if he doesn't keep set, I'd sell him. I'd probably buy like Renata, Irelia +1. I might sell Draven. Renata, Irelia, Maddie pair. Okay. I mean, keeping the Urgots is just a sign of like how much you actually want to play Urgots. I mean, yeah, he buys Renata because Renata's pretty fairly decent from here. In general, same situation as last time. Pretty weak opener. Don't really have 2-stars. Don't really have pairs. Like low chance of having a strong board in the later in the game. So I would just take like buried treasures. If you think expected unexpectedness is strong, you can take it, but I don't think it is. I would just take buried treasures and scale. Oh, he decides to just play a Emissary Sorks or something. Holds are not a pair for future. He holds the like units that could potentially make him stronger on stage 3. Like he's never gonna win rounds with this, but there's definitely potential to actually win later in the game. I'm confused by his rebel holds though. I feel like these rebel holds are so trash.
And he's a BT. I mean, he's not like doesn't make a blue buff other one.
So I'm just gonna speed through this because I'm curious what he plays. Like this spot looks like an 8th. Okay, I mean this is one of the better augments you can hit. If your augment says like, I want a level.
I think I won. This guy's level 5.
Lubov.
Just a lot more.
Yeah, I'm lost. I'm just gonna scroll through this for my own sake. What? The fuck? I mean, if you don't, he probably wins because he hit LeBlanc too.
Okay, I don't know why I didn't think this guy had a brain, but I mean, I didn't move.
What? Okay, I mean, he probably wins because he hits LeBlanc. So like, you just need to get 1 mana in for LeBlanc and just move the items. But
Doesn't look like a 4th. I mean, I'm about to go 10.
yeah, I'm lost. Whatever. I don't see the point of making the blue buff.
Okay, well, it's only 1%. I might as well just chill. I'm on streak.
Okay, whatever. He just goes 10, and I guess he hits Mel eventually.
I failed the 6 boss.
This is why someone told me that
But that also this should be
that Visionary Black Rose is playable now. Because someone was trying to tell me that. Bishop said that this line is playable. Okay, whatever.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I don't even know.
I'm pretty sure he likes playing Visionaries this match, but like his default is
Okay.
like Scrap or something. I don't know. I think he said that on his stream.
I mean, Malzahar got buffed, I guess. Okay. I mean, I haven't played this line. I don't know if it's good. It.
nice. You just hit a +2. Great.
Okay,
And
8 hit.
extremely fun.
I mean,
It's true damage boosted, then if I did tunnels. 6. Oh.
I'm still surprised he made the blue buff.
He's a fine.
But
Not better than the other stuff.
well played to him, I guess.
My items are blue buff.
Oops. Sorry, spoilers. Okay, never mind. This is not working.
In the morning.
My own takeaways is that Bishop actually priors family higher than I do. Like I thought of family as like one of my like more secret openers. Like I don't see other people playing family openers. I'm pretty sure it's really strong because the family trait is really busted and powder is really busted.
Okay, I'm not locked in. Sorry.
But surprised other people. Right. Okay, this guy's trolling. Okay. I mean, like the only cool thing to look at here is that he like doesn't make the 2 stars because you get to make more decisions and hold more units on bench. But like his decisions are fairly straightforward here. Wow. I'm really surprised he takes scoreboard scrapper. I'm really surprised he takes scoreboard scrapper. Like I actually never would because you have an upgrade, you have your next in, and you have a lot of potential to get stronger. Like Maddie pair, possibly just play Maddie or something. I'd probably just take the red buff, but this is fine too.
Away from. I never.
It's fine.
Like literally just take.
Maybe like he scouted and the lobby was strong. Like I don't know. Okay, I mean he hits tree tracker, he probably goes first.
No 4. I'm sorry.
Wait, sorry, be right back. I'm gonna be back in like literally 3 minutes. Probably gonna move on to YBY, or I'm gonna go through learning TFTs openers, and then we'll go down YBY. But like, give me 3 minutes. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. I think the Jibs likes to play scrap a lot with blue streak openers. He pretty much committed scrap on 2-1 unless 3-2 augment lets him pivot. Oh, I mean, yeah. Remember that like tier list I had? I'm playing scrap every game. Actually, we got the tier list. If you look at my match history, you'll see that I am also a huge fan of scrap. Like, I play scrap, wait, no, scrap. Wait, do I not play that with scrap? Oh wait, scrap. I played scrap like 1/3 of my games. Scrap. And like 1/3 of your games is quite a lot. Most played 6 scrap. Okay, well yeah, I be a scrap addict. Yeah, I might play a lot of scrap. I mean, I also like scrap. It's just that I think in his spot he could have like slightly win streaked. So I would have played for the win/mixed streak because I don't like full loss streak. But perhaps he just thinks scoreboard scrapper is a better augment than I think it is. Project Mentor, what day is this? 8 hours ago? Okay. Right, so you check Academy. What? I saw Deathblade. I think that's Deathblade Steadfast Spark, if I remember correctly. Oh, Crown Guard Deathblade Redemption. Okay, never mind. I was like, holy cow, you checked it so fast. Oh wait, Draven opener. Two components. I think 2 components make you favor scrap more, and also rerolls more. But Big Nico makes you favor scrap, so I always try to hold towards scrap. This one is really hard. There's a lot you want to hold. You have a sword. I think you want to hold the Draven pair. But you got Big Nico. If anyone remembers how I talked about how, like, you're only guaranteed 6 gold. He's already got the Loris plus Big Nico. That's the guaranteed 6 gold. Because Big Nico is valued at 3 gold. You actually can't hold much. It's probably like Draven pair plus Irelia. The powder is an okay hold as well. If you don't have to hold Irelia because you say that, like, you're saying to yourself that, like, I can hit a Sentinel anytime anyways, it's, like, probably fine. But you kind of already have your front line. I'd hold Draven pair plus 1. I'd probably hold Irelia. I kind of disagree with selling lures here.
I was thinking if I hit a Darius and a Mumu too, that could be my opener.
Yeah, I get that. I just think it kind of sucks. You already have Darius, I think buying Mumu is appropriate, but this guy does not do a lot. Oh. I'd always buy the Vladimir pair. I'm okay with selling this stuff. Okay, I like powder a lot. I mean, I mentioned how liking powder, but I think holding powder is inappropriate here just because powder doesn't really link to the rest of your units. Like, it could link to Draven if you spontaneously summoned all the rest of the family units to start, but you have powder 1. The chance that you actually play a family opener here is fairly low. I think the chance that you have an opener you can play with powder is all really low, because the openers you want to play with powder are like scrap openers. So like, you want to play like Trundle, or family openers, and I don't think from this spot you can really hit either of those. I think holding a Vladimir pair is far more worth it. Like the big thing is just that powder. The chance that powder links into your opener and is the strongest opener is so low that I don't think it's worth buying powder, because you really want to play for what you're likely to hit rather than what you like possibly might hit. I think this one's okay. Clearmine is like okay, but not great. I'll take Econ. I would actually make full Econ. I'd sell the Trundle plus plus that. Are you heavily leaning scrap every game? Is that your plan?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
scrap was underplayed in this lobby, so I was just like, all right, I'll just hard force scrap for the most part.
I don't like Ziggs that much. I mentioned why, but like I think the biggest thing to talk about is that you can just make Econ into 2-1. Like your mid game doesn't significantly change. This step is like pretty worthless actually. The Trundle is like maybe important, but I think you just want to play for your late game, especially with Big Nico. Also, stuff like this. Like you miss an Econ here, you miss an Econ on 2-1. You lost 2 gold already. I won't say your board hasn't gotten better at all, but like you're still killing like I don't even know if you want to win. Looks like you won, but I don't even know if you want to win, so like I don't really care for playing these units. Especially when you don't have like them paired. And also I think Ziggs kind of sucks. Hey look, we would have hit Trundle 2 anyways. I mean, my main point is that I think if your opener is like that weak, you can just get like accept that it's gonna be weak. Like you push doubles to fit the extra units on your board. I think you can just accept that your opener is gonna be weak, and then like just hold the important units. Like you like the step didn't even end up going on this board. Like you hold powder on 2-1, and then on 2-3 you see one Trundle, you pick up one Trundle, and then from there on you hold any powders and Trundles you see, and then like you still make the same board essentially.
You
Except
okay
you're
with
like
getting to the late game without a powder 2 or Trundle 2? Like, I guess they're not that important.
powder 2, I think you'll hit. Like I don't sell my 1 cost starting stage 3, but I think usually you hit powder 2 anyways. Like Trundle and Trundle 2 like I don't care that much about. Like powder 2 does matter, but I don't think there's ever a spot where you have to sell powder, right? Like there's never actually a spot where you have to sell powder to make Econ. As T1 you would sell Trundle Stab. 2-2 you don't make Econ anyways, you probably buy like 1 Stab. Or you probably buy 1 powder. 2-3 you sell, like you would have 18 gold here, you sell 1 Ziggs. You have powder pair plus Trundle, or plus 1 unit. Powder pair plus probably like plus this. And Ziggs 2, I don't even buy on rolldowns. That guy is like not that useful. I mean I buy him if I hit the rest of my board, but he's not that useful. And like these items like do just as much, if not more, even on Trundle 1. Like you can IE Trundle and it's fine. So in conclusion, there's never a spot where you really need to sell powder, and I think you lost like 1 gold here, 1 gold here, 1 gold here by leveling, and another gold here by not making Econ because you leveled plus lost 6 gold in total. And if you lost this round, I don't know if you could have. Maybe they would have full sold if like your board is weaker. Then that's even more gold.
I got burned a lot playing scrap early on, slamming the items on Trundle and just running ton of removers late game, so I kind of stopped doing that early game. Is that
I mean, you don't have to slam then. Like, it's not like your board was that strong anyways. If you really don't want to. I mean, I think it's fine to slam items on Trundle. It's not that bad. If you have a Trundle too, like you usually keep items on him unless you had like a GP2 mid game or you like get to late game. You just have to be smart about how you use your removers. Like, I'm not saying there's not a danger in slamming items here, but I think it's acceptable. Like, I would take the risk. Also, like, 1-cost odds on 8 aren't like that bad. You usually hit powder too. If you start with at least 1 powder. Like, I stopped selling powders starting like stage 3, whatever, because I do think you want to guarantee at least like 1 powder and 1 trundle in your roll down, but like, you lost like somewhere between 4 to some whatever gold just holding powders and holding trundles. Or not even holding powders, just holding trundle. And I think he's good to have upgraded. Like, he is an extra 700 HP if he's upgraded with Bruiser in. But I don't think he's like essential. You can make do without him, I think. Okay, Scuttle Puddle Morgana. This new unit is actually quite worthless, but unfortunately he's actually really good with Experiment. Sorry, unfortunately the Experiment trait is actually really good. So I actually kind of try to keep him. If you're uncomfortable playing Sorcerers, I would understand why you don't hold it, but in terms of like strength, Yunu can actually provide a pretty strong opener with Zyra. I would have waited until you saw your items before selling at the very least. Like, I think you want to know your items.
what would you hold Nunu
Also,
for? What components?
I would hold. I mean, like, if I got tier, I would hold Nunu for sure because I want to play Zyra Nunu. I don't like relying on hitting like a 3-cost, what I call Link. Like, the reason you would want to hold Nunu is because you want to play Experiments. And if I had Zyra plus Urgot, then I don't really care about the Experiment line because it's hard to hit Nunu. But if you have the 1 and 3 costs, or you have the 3 and 2 costs, like, it's not that hard to find the 2 or 1 cost. Like, it's reasonable to expect that most games you'll hit it by the end of stage 2. So I would try to hold Nunu, and by that logic, I would try to probably start to sell this, like, this Darius, this Darius, this, and this. You can still hold the scrap line, you can still hold like an AP line, but like, it's not like holding Morgana here does anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have Visionary, you don't have Sentinels, you can't really play Renata. These two, I'm not saying this is like meaningless, but like, we don't have Conqueror, we don't have any other Watchers. There's like not really good reason to play this. I would try to hold Nunu for like, because Nunu both fits with the Bruiser board and can be like a really strong opener with Zyra. Like, obviously, if you know Darius is in your next shop, like, if you have Foresight, you can hold Darius, but, like, I mean, I don't know what's in my next shop, so I'm not holding Darius. Also, if your holds are valuable, it's okay to just, like, not make Econ and Scuttle Puddle. We sell. When do we sell and why?
Yeah, I should have sold Zyra and Singe instead of the step pair. I think I was panicking and didn't count ahead of time.
Oh, but it happens. Okay, this is scary. Why does Meta TFT put like the bad ratings like green? The good ratings are red and the bad ratings are green. You kind of want to take Econ. But you also don't really want to take Bandit Thieves. I probably wouldn't take this one, because you can't really win streak. You don't really need Econ. Plus 1 component is pretty useless here. Scuttle Puddle gives you more components and more Econ. I know Power Up sucks. I think I would rather take it over Iron Assets. I think this just like gives you exactly what the portal gives you. and you kind of want to like have like combat power or like some sort of scaling.
Okay, that makes sense.
And you also can't win streak with this. Like you it's like the chances you win streak are so infinitesimally low, right? You have to hit like Draven 2 plus like Swain, like or like plus Darius 2 or something. Like even like Darius 2 alone here probably doesn't win streak you, and you don't really have other pairs. You solar step pair. We don't really have like backline either. I think the chance you win streak here is really low, so like this is generally good for like immediate power. It's also good for pushing levels because like you get to make back the 3 econ that you lost, but your board is fairly weak. It's always gonna be really weak here. Like I don't even like power up. I would take power up over this. Just because I think this doesn't accomplish much on your current board. It's also much weaker because you start making 50 by 2/6. So whereas usually, Iron Assets lets you start making 50 faster. So like it's not actually just 4 gold. It's like usually more like 8 to 10 gold. In this case, it's actually just like it's not exactly 4 gold. It's probably like 5 gold, 6 gold. It doesn't actually like benefit you that much. Oh look, wait, like exactly what I said, right? We hit the Urgot. Like if we were playing around Nunu, we could have played a really strong experiment Nunu opener.
Oh yeah, good point.
I mean, this doesn't always happen, but like most of the times you can like kind of count on it eventually hitting the 2 cost. Okay, I mean like okay, you hit Echo. Never mind. Sorry. Never mind. Just play that instead. That one. Huh? What? Huh? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a dirty high roller.
And what? Jace already. Wait, do you roll for the rumble or you just hit the rumble?
I think I just hit it too. But I was at level 8 at like 3 Oh, never mind. I hit it on 7.
No, you weren't. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's another way to win games. Yeah. That's and you hit and you hit randoms.
I
Okay,
lost
interesting.
to Garen 3 that game.
Okay, I can see how, but that's an interesting game. Okay, so what's the academy? Assuming you check at the start of the game. Yeah, speaking of 3 cost things, I don't like playing for academy unless I start getting dropped the Ezreal. Because if you already have the Ezreal, it's like not too unlikely to hope that you'll find the Lux plus IE static shiv or something. Maybe it's rage rate static shiv, I don't remember. But I think this one's like okay. For opener at least. Okay, Bramble static shiv. Or Bramble IE static shiv. I think keeping Ezreal is okay. Because you can like reasonably expect to hit Irelia or not Irelia, Leona and Lux most of the time. Even if it's not always the case. I personally keep Nami, because I think these units don't synergize with your board or like each other. And I think you have a higher chance of playing a Sork opener. Oh wait. Like I don't think these units do that much for you. Like potentially you could hit Irelia, but you're holding on to Maddie when you don't have a bruiser opener and like we don't have a bruiser opener and Maddie plus Sentinel opener isn't like actually a combo unless you have the Loris. But like Loris is a 3-cost link, like I talked about, so you shouldn't like rely on hitting Loris, I think. It's really unreliable to expect to hit Loris, so Maddie oftentimes doesn't do anything here. This sometimes does something, because maybe you actually hit the Ono. But I think that this could be like any Sentinel and be fine. So like the importance of having exactly a Singe is pretty low. It's not like you need a Kim Baron or anything. And like you could get dropped tier here, and then like then Sorks is just your best opener. It's Works Hunger. You probably want to play Sorks. These all suck. I'll take that one. One Trundle. You can take right. Wow.
It felt so bad.
That sucks. That actually sucks. No. I'm sad we sold the Nami. That's what I'm sad about.
Yeah. Poor Sork would have been so strong.
I mean, it is what it is. You chose an opener that could like kick upgrades. Like eventually you do hit the Maddie 2 in this, but I think the chances that you hit this opener were like a lot lower. Because like when you committed to holding those units, like you really didn't actually have that direction. Like 0 Trundle. And even though it eventually pays off, I think it's better just to hold the Nami there.
I feel like I for sure would have held it with like a tier rod. Do you just hold the Nami even if you have like even if you didn't have a bow? Like let's just say you had pure tank components.
Depends on what they are. If I had like a steadfast, maybe not. But if I had like a gargoyles, like I think the sword comp is one of the few comps that can actually kind of use gargoyles for a bit. I like emissary swords, so it's not that good on Garen, but like it's fine. I mean, the main thing is I just don't like these 3 units that much. They didn't really synergize with your board, and like the potential that they synergize with your board is pretty low.
Okay.
Whereas the potential that you hit like for Sork is actually like not that bad, because you just need to hit 1 cost plus Vladimir. And I'm a huge fan of playing around like 1 and 2 costs, because like I think you can actually reliably hope to hit those. Hitting 3 costs is like trying to hit 3 costs is kind of hard. One more game from here, and then I'll move on. If anyone else has any games they want to submit, feel free to let me know. I'll also... I don't know if you sound the Spark, but just try to slam items on your like upgraded units. Like Spark is better here. On the Trundle. Like you probably have to move the bow anyways, so it's like there's not really much of a loss.
Yeah.
Did you give Glove Echo? No way, okay, thank god. Glove Echo would be too high roll. Yeah, I don't really verbalize a lot, but I think like hoping to play around 3 costs is like such a bad strategy. Is honestly my own takeaway from like just thinking about it. Because 1 cost, like, I mean, you don't always hit, but like you should play as if you'll probably hit. And 2 costs you can oftentimes hit, but 3 costs are like so hard to hit. Or to guarantee that you hit. Uh what did you play? This? Hold this, okay, that's fine. I mean, think you should sell the remaining violet for bundle, but it's not a big deal. Okay, I hope you play Renata. Oh. You can play anything. You can play Renata or you can play Urgot. Aren't you contesting Renata?
Yeah. I don't think I was actually paying close enough attention when I was scouting.
Oh, yeah, because I was looking at the other person. I was like, that looks like Renata. I would actually play Urgot from this spot.
How
I-
would
I
you
would-
use your components?
I would just let Archangels and play Zyra Urgot.
Oh. Just Zyra 2 Archangel for the whole game?
If you take Starry Night or Shopping Spree, you can expect to hit Zyra 3. If you take
okay.
if you take especially because Shopping Spree, like your first rolls are on 5. Like you shouldn't try to level to 6 on 3-1. That just needs to recon too much. You can generally expect to hit the Zyra 3. If you take Unleash of the Beast, then you probably can't hit Zyra 3. Or like you shouldn't expect to hit Zyra 3. But I think it's fine to take this as well. It depends on like how much your lobby wants sword. If your lobby wants a lot of sword, it might be better to take Unleash the Beast just to guarantee some components. If they don't really want sword, you can take like one of the other two. I'd probably Unleash the Beast and just force Urgot. Like, Archangels is definitely not ideal. But, yeah. I think it's better than playing contested at least. Playing contested is, yeah, kind of worrying. Golem FI. Okay, last game, I think. Archangel, Steadfast Titans. This one's okay early game. Late game, it's okay if you're playing Heimerdinger and only Heimerdinger, but it's pretty bad for the Corki duo.
Additional context for this game is there are 4 players in check.
Oh, okay. Are you one of them?
Yeah.
Okay. The holds make sense. Vladimir 2 is pretty decent. Just taking the backliner. Probably not the Maddie. I say not the Maddie because like you don't really have the other units for it. Oh, okay. That works. I'd buy Ziggs. I'd buy Ziggs so you actually have like a unit to play if you don't hit a Watcher. Because like you just play Black Rose plus Ziggs.
Yeah.
I'm not taking gloves off. I'm down for Epic. I would not take this one. I really think you should take Epic. Okay, nice. I I think Watcher is better. Especially if you send a Sunfire, it keeps your Vladimir like tankier for way longer.
What about if I didn't have Sunfire? Does that not need more damage?
Most of your team is damage. I mean, you have a Scion, obviously, but I mean, Vladimir 2 is pretty unkillable if you have his traits in. Okay, like that I would play. But Zyra 1, I don't know if I would like necessarily force it into my comp. You also really should hold the Scar. Like really, really should hold the Scar.
Are you willing
Like we're
to
holding
lose
Zyra 1 over
Econ?
Scar.
Oh yeah.
No, but we're holding Zyra 1 over Scar. And we already have Nami. So like Zyra 1 doesn't even go in on this board, right? Unless you hit like level 6 and still haven't found the Watcher.
Yeah.
Like you're holding Zyra 1 and 6 over Scar, but like this turn it's natural level. Like if you didn't have Scar, I would actually roll this turn for a Watcher. But we shouldn't have had to roll. Instead we're playing a Rel. Yeah, I mean just like try to fill the traits in for your main tank. It's pretty good. What? Emissary. Uh Here's the quick tip. Melee 4 costs are just really strong on stage 2 in general. Even if Mbessa filled no traits on my board, I would still play her.
Yeah.
But she kind of is just straight up better than Rel in every single way, shape, and form.
I think I came to that conclusion after the round started.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, okay, do I just not make Econ? Or
You can just sell. You can just sell. It's fine. Like, Nami comes back. Okay, what is a Zyra obsession? Hello? We sold the pair of the unit we're playing on our board. We got right. Yeah, we're playing Morgana. What is the Zyra obsession?
I think I was like, oh, I can play towards Force Orc.
Oh, okay.
But
But
it's too hard to
we
fit
sold.
in.
But we sold the. But we also sold the other thing. We also sold the Nami.
Yeah. Yeah. Too hard to
Okay,
play if
I
I want
mean-
to play around Mbessa.
Okay. Also, I love For Conqueror. I'm pretty sure this move is highly illegal when you're on 4 streak. Like you can't do this when you're on 4 streak.
Mm.
You're allowed to do this if you're not on 4 streak, but like on 4 streak, this move is highly illegal.
Unless I'm sure I beat my opponents, right?
Yeah, I mean obviously if you think you beat your opponents anyways, like it's fine. But like their board is not bad. And our board kind of just tossed away what made it good. I mean it's still close. It ends up being like somewhat fire RNG. If Bessa doesn't get targeted here, I'm pretty sure you win. Okay, it's like it's not fire energy, but like
The Rennie
It's the
lifted
way
the
the fight
Vlad up
happened.
so that the Maddie sniped the Mbessa. That will happen.
I don't think so.
How
I
did
think
she
I
do
think
the
this is just
Vlad?
trying to. Oh no, like Ambessa dashed down here, so I think it was just shooting
Oh.
down. I mean, like this isn't being lifted. I think she just dashed here, and then the bullets the bullets don't actually fly in a straight line. They can actually miss. Like no, Maddie's bullets like don't even fly in a straight line. Like if you've seen them miss, like it happens. She has like a bit of spray, I think. I mean, I don't know how Ambessa. It's kind of weird, but I do think you should play the other board.
So
Because
you would have given up on 4 Conqueror to just preserve streak and still make Econ, or keep
Yeah.
the Conquerors and just lose Econ?
I think it's okay to lose Econ because you have Epic. There's a good chance you're rolling on 3-1. You can roll for the upgraded Conquerors, and if you get the upgraded Conquerors, I'm down to play them. But we're kind of playing Rel 1 for no reason. Also, on your next level, you actually get to fit in like stuff like Sentinel. So I think it's fine to hold on to the Conquerors in that case. But like, say we have this board, like then you get to level and roll a bit, for like hit Rel 2 or Draven 2. Or I mean, you just hit Rel 2. That's fine too. Then you have to like actually level for a Sentinel, and like this board is like actually strong, arguably stronger than the previous board. But like previously, we were playing just like a Rel 1 for fun.
Right.
and I don't really respect Roll One for almost no traits. I think the Scion body does more. Okay.
Alright, thanks
I
for
think that's
reviewing
it
this.
for me today, unless someone else has like another VOD they want me to go through. But I mainly just wanted to go through like the openers and talk about how I think about stuff. Because I think it's just helpful to discuss it. Right. I'm probably gonna dip then. I need to go play TFT to make snapshots. And if anyone has anything else they want to like me to talk about, just let me know, and I'm happy to host like more sessions or more VOD reviews. Bye.